Good evening, Husker Nation. I'm David Sotek reporting from our studio with your sports ticker. First, there's a schedule change for Nebraska volleyball. The matchup between the Huskers and USC was originally scheduled for November 15th. However, due to scheduling conflicts, it has now been moved to Sunday, November 16th at 2 p.m. The matchup will be streamed on Big Ten Plus and here on the HRN. Next, a few Huskers were honored today. Nebraska women's basketball guard Callan Hake and men's tennis player Ronnie Hitaranda were both named Big Ten Outstanding Sportsmanship Award winners for this past season. Also, sophomore wide receiver Ja'Cory Barney Jr. was named to the preseason watch list for the 2025 Paul Hornung Award, an award given to the most versatile player in college football. And finally, some MLB scores from around the country. First, the Tampa Bay Rays headed up to the concrete jungle to face off against the Yankees. And the Yankees had that home field advantage in Houston for the win, 7-4. And then just in about 5 minutes, first pitch between the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds will kick off. And then later tonight, the Texas Rangers are heading to the West Coast to face off against the Seattle Mariners. Coming up next is the first hour of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The siege and behind the screen, dances around, has he moved, pump fake, out it comes to Jacobson, puts it up and in! Holy smokes! Way to go, Kale Jacobson from Ashland, Nebraska. Into the starting lineup 3 games ago, hits a huge, humongous, gigundous 3.
Runs and deals. Ball swings and lifts a fly ball to left. Cullivan going back to the wall, and it's good! Home run, Jordy Bull! A towering drive to left field by Jordy Bull, and that ties the school record for home runs in a season by a Husker. Allie Viola, you've got company. It's the best player in college softball with her 3rd home run of the weekend, Jordy Bull.
Bump set left, Almodovar's in the front row, she tips it, Doug. Huskers own it, set left, Harper again, over dig and out. Floyd Harper Murray in the big red. She's carrying him, that's 18 kills. For Harper, it's 25-24 Nebraska.
Now, here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Jessica Coody, joined by Kyle Crooks once again here off the top of the show as we're talking Husker football. Another availability today, as it was Dana Holgerson, the offensive coordinator, that met with the media today, as well as Mikael Shorts, Jr., and we had some player availability as well. So we'll get into all of that kind of fun 2 hours coming up for you. The joke of the week is back with Duke, who has also made his way back to Nebraska, spending the summer out in California. So we'll have that in hour number 2. We'll also have Nick Hanley joining us in hour number 2, as he does, and Rocco Spindler in hour 2. And here in just a few minutes, we're going to chat with Matt Davison of 1890, catch up with him and talk about Saturday's event, which should be a fun one. And have a scrimmage, full pads. It should be a fun night out there on Saturday night.
Full pads, sign me up. I can't wait for Saturday. We'll both be out there. I think Damon will be out there as well, but it should be a nice crowd if you have not gotten your tickets yet for Big Red Preview. Also, there's Fan Day that starts at 4:30. Big Red Preview will be at 6:30 inside Memorial Stadium. There's nothing better, especially, we're still itching for the start of the season. August 28th, still now a little less. We're inside a month, so we've hit that month threshold. But if you want to see full pads, full contact underneath the lights at Memorial Stadium, we talked yesterday, the weather's probably going to be good. So everything is lining up. They're going to sell beer for the first time at Memorial Stadium as well for this. So lock in, get your tickets.
Yes, be out there. The the players are excited. I talked to 3 of them today that are pumped to get to experience being, because it can get a little monotonous, right? Just like practicing all the time. And the fact that you have some fans in the stands getting to watch maybe provide a little extra juice on Saturday. I think they're pretty fired up to get to do it in front of some fans on Saturday.
Yeah, today they were recreating some fan noise with some music. Sometimes they use that to pump them up and just create somewhat of an atmosphere, a sound to practice, but now you don't have to manufacture that on Saturday. I know, you've been here and you've been a part of this event, and it is really fun. You get the opportunity to meet these athletes face to face, sign some autographs, and you've listened to your podcast. You've listened to Sports Nightly every single night. You've heard me, you've heard Jess, Damon, Nick, everybody talk about the team. This is your chance to see it in person. So go out and do it.
Look at you already selling the events happening here. You're all in.
I tweeted out today the link to tickets. It's all part of the deal.
But I mean, I have said this multiple times too. It is a fun event, and you're actually going to get to see some practice, and they're going to scrimmage a little bit. And the thing about it, and I think you brought this up, the practices, you only are given a certain number of practices that you can be out there. They're not going to waste this practice. They're going to get some stuff done while they're out there. So it should be a fun night out there on Saturday. And you can also get your autographs beforehand as well at
You
Husker
can get
Fanning.
Jess's autograph too, by the way.
And Kyle's autograph.
Nobody wants my autograph.
Everybody wants your autograph, Kyle. And they also want to hear your beatbox. Maybe you should be the DJ beatboxing for everybody waiting in line.
It's possible. You think we can talk to Coach Rule and make that happen?
We need to talk to DJ D. Wayne. I think you got to meet DJ D. Wayne.
I look forward to meeting DJ D. Wayne.
He's the guy. You got to know him. Okay, so let's get serious here. Talk some football because we've got to get to it. So we have plenty of time for Matt Davison here coming up in just a few minutes. But heard some speculation, some rumblings about an injury, and I said this last night. Nick and I were talking about this. The great thing about Coach Rule, there's a lot of college football coaches that might not address things head on right away, but he will let you know when there's a major update that once they work through it within the team. And unfortunately, Mac Markway had suffered an injury, the tight end that we were raving about the first couple of days of practice. And so Coach Rule, first of all, met with the media, and he just hopped in before Coach Holgerson just to give this update on Markway.
Unfortunately for us, and unfortunately for him, Mac Markway, after the first practice came in, had some swelling in his knee. Actually not till the next day, and unfortunately the ACL repair failed for him. So, heartbreaking news. He's an unbelievable human. Felt terrible for him, and not any one play, nothing that he even knows necessarily happened. Just some swelling. Actually went to walk through that night. Came in the next morning. So got through day one. We talked about him. Was really excited for what I knew he was about to do, but I know the human he is. I'm excited for what he does next. So I just want to make sure you guys heard that from me. So,
just real quick, he also followed up on that and just was asked a question on how often an ACL repair fails, like what happened in this case.
Well, I mean, anytime you have an ACL repair, there's always a chance it could be retorn. So it just, wasn't like he got hit or cut necessarily and said, oh shoot, just came in the next day and it was retore. I don't know the proper words, but I just know for him, it just obviously he went in saying it had a little swelling and then got that news. It was tremendously devastating to him. So.
And that's usually the case, Jess, with ACL injuries, and what makes this a little bit odd in the fact that there wasn't a noticeable moment where this happened, right? Where Mac had gone down on the field. This was just like Coach Rule had said. This was swelling and coming back the next day and going through an MRI and seeing that there was more there. And it's devastating for, someone in Mac Markway who went through a knee injury his senior year of high school. He was one of the top recruits in the country. And then if you remember, it was the third practice last year of fall camp that he had the ACL injury. So he's had a total of 4 practices here with Nebraska. And sometimes certain players they go through it. Now he's only a sophomore, and this will be another redshirt, medical redshirt season for him. And it just seems like somebody who's going to keep showing up, keep going at it. This is a big-time player that if he sticks around here at Nebraska, eventually he's going to make his mark, no pun intended.
Yeah, and I've talked about my knee injuries. I've tore both my ACLs. I hate it for players. It hurts my heart when you hear an ACL injury for players because it's a lonely process to get back to it. But what is crazy about it is a lot of times, neither one of mine hurt really bad. Like a bad ankle sprain for me, I've had ankle sprains that hurt worse than a torn ACL. It's more so the process, the rehab that hurt the more painful part of the process. But a lot of times it's like I thought I hyperextended my knee. I'm like, I'm getting back out there. It sounds like Mac was just back out there. He was telling Coach Holgerson, hey, I'm fine, I'm okay. And then turns out that the swelling and the MRI led to a more serious injury. But hopefully, I know Husker fans will be familiar with a guy like Thomas Fedona, who came in highly touted and just could not get healthy, but then he ended up getting healthy and then getting his opportunity at the NFL. So hopefully it's one where Markway can bounce back and continue to be here and be the guy that everyone has hoped that he could be, and just hate that someone has to go through that. I just hate it. But sounds like he's got a great support system, which is most important when you go through something like this. All right, let's hear from the offensive coordinator, Dana Holgerson, and we're going to start with the first clip we're going to play for you is just he was asked about what he wants to see out of Dylan Raiola on Saturday when the Huskers scrimmage and get out in front of the fans on Saturday night.
Just keep controlling the game. I've said this before. His football knowledge is advanced, and so we're putting a lot of things on him from going to the line of scrimmage and looking and seeing what's going on and getting us in the best play. Okay, and he can do that at a very high level. So, the leadership stuff, that's been awesome. The conditioning has been awesome. His rapport with people is awesome. The timing with the receivers is getting better, but managing the offense and getting us into the right play is what I'm looking at, and he's doing a great job of it. And I keep giving him situation after situation after situation within just a play, not the situation in the game, but just within the play, to where he's got to look and read defenses and get us into a better place if he can, which will make us better, make us more efficient if he can continue to get better at that.
And that's what makes him light years ahead of schedule, because he played a full season as a true freshman starter. And you're seeing it sort of the fruits of that now take place here in fall camp, that he's had a little bit more of an understanding of putting his teammates, putting his offense in the right situation. This is just the evolution of somebody who has played now a full season and is ready to take that next jump. We said yesterday, 13 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Can we see that number separate and that touchdown number really grow here in year 2?
What would you say is the number one storyline this week of fall camp?
Number one storyline outside of injuries for me, I would say it's probably the tackle position. Like, if we're going super nerdy with it, did you have another answer?
Well, what's next? What we're going to play next? I feel like with the thing that people want to know about the running backs, right?
Right, and I was going to say that too. Yes.
So I feel like that's what everybody wants to know. We know that Emmett's the guy. He's been the guy. He's embracing that role as the guy. But who's going to play behind him? You got to have more than one running back. You got to have more than 2 running backs in the Big Ten. And so Coach Holgerson was asked about what he wants to see from the running backs behind Emmett Johnson.
We've had this discussion in this room a bunch, and I know that's on everybody's mind with just depth. I mean, look, that position, I've said it, and I keep saying it, you're getting to number 2 quick, you're getting to number 3 pretty quick, and you're probably going to get to number 4, and it may happen in the first half of the first game, so better get some of those other guys ready to go. I have been, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to go straight in there, and I'm going to go find him, and I'm going to tell him what I said, and if he does anything wrong, I'm going to kick him right in his ass. Makai's done good. Makai's had a great summer. He's matured. He looks very explosive out there. He's had no busts. His assignments and stuff have been good, and he's doing a good job. Okay, Ike Mosey is going to be a good running back. He's got a running back body. We kept him at running back in the spring because we wanted him to settle in, and we wanted him to work on his receiving stuff, which he did all that. It was good, but we needed to move him for depth purposes, and he's a talented young man, So those 2 guys, Connor Booth is a guy that's different now than he was in the spring. So we have some young guys. I hate mentioning names because I'm going to forget to mention somebody, but I've been pleased with where they're at, and those guys are just going to get a whole bunch of reps here over the next 2-3 weeks because they're going to play. You're getting to number 2, you're getting to number 3. Ives has been out with a hamstring. He'll be back. I mean, we know what he can do, but I've been encouraged with those younger guys and how they've developed so far.
Well, as I said, one of the biggest storylines of training camp, of course, is the running back position. But, that's right on the money. Who is number 2? Who's number 3? And, Holgorsen had said today that perhaps in game 1 you could see a 4th running back at some point in time. And who steps up? Right now, Ives, it was noted he essentially got injured when it was the open viewing portion. The entire media had seen that Ives had gone through that hamstring issue, and that was confirmed here. And what Dana was saying, Mekhi Nelson looks quick, shifty, only a redshirt freshman. 2 really young freshman backs. And you've said this, behind Emmett, it gets really young, really fast. And 2 guys in Nelson, I love what I see out of Mosey because now we've seen what Emmett Johnson did out of the backfield. He had, 39 catches last year as the most for a Husker running back since, I think, like 2007. So you utilize that aspect of a running back out of the backfield, and someone like Mosey, who's a wide receiver coming in, it's going to be huge.
I love what Coach Holgorsen said there. I'm going to go tell him, and if he doesn't live up to this, I am going to kick him in the rear end.
Kick him in the booty.
I was making sure I didn't need the dump button there with Coach Holgorsen. No, just kidding. But great stuff there from Holgorsen. Last thing we'll play for you that we have time for here in this first segment. Here is Kyle's top storyline, the options at tackle. Coach Holgorsen talking about the depth there at the tackle position.
A lot better than I felt in January. I looked out there in January and said, geez, this ain't good. Now I look out there and say, okay, there's capable bodies that are able to play. Getting Teddy and Gunner back has developed depth. So, we're just rotating them every couple plays. All those guys, we're going to rotate them, and, hopefully we get Turner back here pretty quick as well. That will add to more depth with it. So, depth and healthy bodies to be able to practice and put them in situations to see who elevates their game. That typically happens throughout the course of camp. One's going to go up and one's not. Are we going to rotate them all year? I don't know. We're going to just keep putting them in situations. But how do I feel? A whole heck of a lot better than I did in January. We're able to put 2 quality groups out there right now and get as much reps and work in as we need to.
Oh, I was going to say, Coach Holgorsen, when he first got here, he joked about how he didn't even know names. He was just calling by numbers, but he's learned everybody's name. He's calling them by their names here.
That's a start because a lot of them weren't in the meeting rooms. They weren't, practicing in the spring. So now you go from an offensive line room that was vacant for the most part to now a room that at its peak could have 10 guys that you'd feel comfortable putting out there at any given time. You know who the spots that are essentially going to be cemented are probably that interior offensive line. So Lutovsky left guard, Evans at center, Spindler at right guard. There's a lot of confidence outside of that group that we all know that have seen a lot of experience. A Sam Sledge, does he play a factor this year? Grant Bricks, does he play some snaps this year? So a lot deeper. We heard Rocco Spindler talk earlier today, and I know you had a chance to chat with him in an interview we'll play at some point here on Sports Nightly, but he was not shy about his opinion and what this offensive line could be, and that's one of the best in the nation. This is a guy who, played on one of the best offensive lines in the country at Notre Dame and played in a national championship game.
You can't buy experience. It is just so valuable. And when you have guys like Teddy and Turner who have played a lot of football despite the injuries, that's such a luxury. And then you have a guy like Gunnar Gatula who did very well being thrown to the fire last year, and then you get a Pritchett. And so the fact that you have those conversations where you're kind of who's it going to be, that is what you want in an offensive line at this level, to be able to have you're talking about 4 or 5 guys that could very well come in and step in and contribute at a high level. What's
funny is nowadays in college sports, you sort of can buy experience if you look at the NIL.
Not as much on the offensive line though.
But that's exactly what Coach Rule has said. You don't necessarily lean heavily on the transfer portal for offensive line. You need to develop, get guys in here, get them to that training table, and that Dana.
And outside of Pritchett, that's what they have at tackle, or 3 guys that they've developed within this program.
And that continuity means a lot. And Donovan Raiola, you watch how animated, how fired up he is when he's in that room and he's teaching them in the indoor for practice. It is just a unique coaching staff, specifically in that offensive line room, and it's a really good group, echoed today by Rocco Spindler and Dana Holgerson, that can have a very special season.
All right, great stuff. You're going to be out there on Saturday and even at Fan Day. So the guys in the chat, if they want your autograph, they can find you. You'll sign some autographs.
So let me ask you this, Jess. How much for a Jessica Coody autograph?
I'm uncomfortable signing up. Mine just looks like my signature that looks like a third grader learning cursive for the first time.
But that's the thing. That's the thing of an autograph. It's not supposed to be nice or clean. It's supposed to look a little wacky.
Mike in the chat, Mike has my autograph with Damon on the same program, and I looked at mine, I was like, that's terrible. So he wants yours, and I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not very good at this, but if you ask, I'll do it, but I don't know why you would want my autograph.
Well, if I think we get paid next week. If we get paid, maybe I'll have enough to afford Jessica's autograph.
I'm going to charge you a bunch for that. All right, we got to get to a break here. Coming up next, Matt Davison going to be joining us here. We're going to let Kyle get out of here. He'll be back on Monday with us here on Sports Nightly because tomorrow is going to be our final best of show of the summer. So keep it here. Matt Davison coming up next right after this. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Refine your luxury shopping experience when you purchase your next vehicle at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Receive 2.99% APR for 60 months on the full lineup of 2025 Genesis GV80s, plus up to $2,000 loyalty or competitive owner bonus. Visit our showroom in Village Point or online at southwestomahagenesis.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra when financed with Genesis Finance. $2.99 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires July 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraska soybeans power everyday products, from Goodyear tires and Skechers shoes to soy-based turf and fire suppressants. These innovations replace petroleum and utilize other components of the soybean, leading to more sustainable products worldwide.
I'm Doug Sadoff, a farmer near Trumbull, Nebraska. Thanks to cutting-edge research, soybeans are now in everything from tires to turf. It's amazing to see how these advancements are unlocking new potential for our crops.
Soybeans are a win for every product and everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Turn up the heat during the Honda Summer Event at Woodhouse Honda. Drive off in style with limited time offers happening now. Lease the 2025 Honda HR-V AWD LX for $299 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Shop in store off Highway 281 in Grand Island or online at woodhousehonda.com. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. Security deposit waived. $2,499 due at signing, plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GH250174. Offer expires 7/31/2025. See dealer for details.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and so excited to welcome to our new studio Matt Davison, our good friend here. What do you think of the new studio? It looks different, huh, than when you were last up here?
It's an amazing spot. I mean, I had no idea that it was going to look like this on the second floor, and there's. You guys deserve it. You guys do great work, and this looks amazing. It's going to be an awesome spot for you guys to bring Sports Nightly to everybody, and new offices all across the second floor here. It really looks great.
We're hoping to get some podcasts going too with student athletes, and which is, I know a lot. You guys are working on a lot of different deals for student athletes with 1890, and a big event coming up on Saturday, which we want to dive into as well. So you guys started this last year, the Big Red Preview, presented by 1890, and brought it back this year. I thought it was a fun event last year. I had a great time out there. Can you just take us back to maybe the originating idea, why you guys thought this would be a cool event for Husker fans?
Well, I think us, like everybody else, are looking for revenue streams, right? And with NIL, it's coming up with ideas and ways to engage our fans and allow them to be close to our student athletes and get to know them. And that was a way a year ago for us to, anytime Husker fans can come to Memorial Stadium, they love to do that. And so we worked with Troy last year, and it ended up being a great event. I thought Coach Rule did an unbelievable job with the production of it all and, engaging with the fans and having the players sign some autographs afterwards and everything with the big screens and talking on the microphones and all of those things. I thought for the people that attended last year, they really enjoyed it. And in this era of college football, there is a lot of turnover, right? And so you have new players in the spring and then some more that come in the summer with the addition of some of the freshmen. And so this was, we thought, a way for our fans to be able to see the team. And this is game time, right? I mean, this is really fall camp and happens to be this Saturday is the first full padded practice. And so they're going to be getting after it. And thank you to Coach Rule and Troy for allowing us to do this, because it's a great way for our fans to see the new players on the team and, get refamiliarized with the guys on the roster and get ready to go to play Cincinnati down in Kansas City.
What does that say about Coach Rule? A lot of head coaches might not be open to an event like this because they're practicing. I mean, you actually see a legit practice out there that he opens it up for fans to come be a part of an event like this.
Yeah, a lot of coaches would not do this. Most probably would never do this. And so it's just another thing that makes him unique. I mean, we're so lucky to have him as our head coach, and he's going to make it fun for our fans. It's going to be a real practice. If you're thinking about coming, I mean, bring the family. I'm bringing my kids and my wife, and it's going to be a ton of fun. You can have a beer. It's going to be kind of a test run with all of that and the concessions, full concessions that night. So the weather looks good, and for those that do come, they're going to have a great time. I thought Coach did a great job. The players were awesome last year, and they'll do that again this year. And there's a lot of other things going on Saturday too. So a lot of reasons for Husker fans to come to Lincoln if they're thinking about it.
You've been a part of a lot of first full pad practices. Mm-hmm. It elevates. How exciting is that for players when they get out there for the first time in full pads? Yeah, I mean, in the trenches, obviously it changes things drastically. And for a lot of practices, I mean, even leading into Saturday, it's physical, right? But usually the first padded practice, it gets a little heated, and that's kind of what you want. I mean, I think the guys are competitive, right? And they're still positioning themselves to try to get on the field or to try to prepare themselves for the first game. And so it's going to be intense for sure on Saturday night, and adding some fans into the stands, I think, makes it even more that way, as they know there's a lot of eyes on them. And for a lot of the guys on the team, I think it's good for them to have people watching them and give them a sense of what it's like to
not just be watching the film after practice, but now you have actual people watching you practice. And so I think it's good for them too. And look, the commitment to NIL at this university is extraordinary. And you know what the Peds have done with 1890 and us working with the athletic department as closely as we do, it's events like this that really make this place unique. And our commitment to the student athletes as a university, as an athletic department, and partnering with 1890 on this says a lot about what we're willing to do for the student athletes.
And listen, I mean, even Coach Rule last year talked a lot about he stopped practice, got onto them when they weren't doing things right. I mean, this is one of your few practices that you get leading up to kickoff, and he's going to expect high standards.
No doubt. I mean, this is not a throwaway practice by any stretch. They're going to be getting after it and getting a ton of reps. It's really a great opportunity for our fans to come to Memorial Stadium. We all love being in this beautiful stadium that we have here. And, you know, bring your kids and get up close to the players and be down by the fence and you know, have great seats and really watch them and what they do on a daily basis. There's so much that goes into a practice. And I think, you know, unless you've seen one before, there's so many moving parts and so many people that work on practice, from the equipment guys and the trainers and obviously the coaches and all the coaching staff that are down there and moving 100-some guys around into different sections of the field and moving them into different 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 and individual and all the stuff that they do. It's pretty fascinating to see. It's so coordinated. There's so much that goes into even putting on a practice. And Coach Rule is crazy good at the communication piece, and no one's going to be shocked if Saturday he has to, you know, get after him again. It's just it's a really good way for our fans to be able to get an up-close look at our football team.
So I think people, you know, in this day and age in college athletics and with the rev sharing part of it now being established with college athletics, the NIL part of it still remains very important for college athletics. And as you mentioned, Coach Rule and Troy Dannon have put a big emphasis on that. Can you maybe break that down for fans and why the NIL part of it in 1890 remains so important to what Nebraska Athletics wants to accomplish with the players that are coming in here?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you'd asked me a couple of weeks ago, the answer might be different. And 2 weeks from now, it could be different again, right? So, I mean, over the last 4 years, things have changed so much with NIL and collectives and what they're allowed to do and what the university is now allowed to do. And the good thing is we work closely with everybody over here and we're all on the same page. And so no matter how the rules change, we're always going to be able to pivot and do what we can do to support our programs. Whether it's softball and baseball or women's and men's basketball, volleyball, football, wrestling, all of our programs. And so we're still definitely a big part of things and will be for the future here. So we appreciate our supporters that have helped 1890. And for those that are thinking about it, check out our website and go to 1890nebraska.com. You can contribute there. 100% of the dollars contributed to 1890 go back to our student athletes. And so we're still doing our best within the rules to do what we can to support our coaches, give them the best opportunity to retain and attract the best student athletes from across the country. We're going to continue to do that within the guidelines given.
I think it's cool to your point about all the different sports. There might be other athletic departments that might be focusing in on a couple programs here or there that they're putting a lot of emphasis on. But here it is a big emphasis for all of our programs to be successful. Yeah, and we're lucky to have just tremendous coaches in every sport. I mean, I've developed great friendships with most of them over many, many years, you know, with Rhonda Ravel and Amy Williams forever. And, you know, Fred is a good friend and Coach Rule. And so we have Danny being back. I mean, we have so many great coaches here. And so it's fun to work with them. You know, they are doing everything they can for their athletes in their programs to help them be successful in this NIL era, which has, you know, been a bit of chaos at times, but I think they do a good job of communicating with their athletes and you know, working with 1890 to make sure we're doing everything we can to give them the best opportunities in this new environment. So we'll continue to do that, and we're just lucky here. It's not like this most places, I can say, where the collective and the athletics department are working this closely together, and we do that on a weekly basis. I think another point, too, is just that it's going to be done the right way. You mentioned that, too. With this day and age, and we get a lot of comments about not liking the direction that it is. But here at Nebraska, you guys are following the rules that are put in place, and it's not a free-for-all. There are certain rules and regulations that we follow here that you can't say maybe everywhere.
Right. I mean, and we're always going to do it the right way. And Jonathan Bateman has been incredible to work with here in athletics, and Troy and his whole staff and the Husker Athletic Fund. When it comes to raising money, they've been crazy good to work with. So we have 6 full-time employees over at 1890, and we're doing everything we can and working with everybody over here. And we appreciate you helping us to get the word out about Saturday night and hopefully get a lot of fans out there. And all the money we raise from Saturday night will go back to our student athletes. And so it'll be fun for those that come, and it'll help our program.
Huskers.com/tickets. And again, the gates will open at 5:30, but you can even get tickets up until you can walk up on Saturday too. You don't have to buy them beforehand either.
That's right. So keep it in mind. I mean, if you don't want to pull the trigger today or tomorrow even, I mean, Saturday walk up and you can buy tickets and come into Memorial Stadium for an hour or two and watch practice and bring the family and eat and have a drink. And I mean, it's really going to be a fun night for everybody. And again, thanks to the athletic department, Coach Rule especially, for allowing us to do this. And for our student athletes, it just shows the commitment that Nebraska has to trying to be really good at this in somewhat of an uncertain time as things keep changing. We're doing everything we can to try to be as good at this as we possibly can. And so hopefully a lot of fans come out Saturday night.
All right, well, let's talk some football, too, because, hey, practice is underway.
Yeah.
How do you like the direction and the personnel they have in place? As there's a lot of excitement around the football team.
Really excited. Can't wait to go to Kansas City. I think everybody I know is going to the game, and so it's going to be great to be down there and open up at Arrowhead. Look, I'm really pumped about this team. The new faces that we have, and the guys up and down the roster, most of which I met with at some point, right, as they were coming into Nebraska and working with them on the NIL piece. But I think we have some great additions on both sides of the ball, some new coaches as well. And so seeing some of the direction that they take, their position groups or their side of the ball is going to be really interesting to me. To see the growth of some of the young guys that I know are going to have big seasons this year, to see how Dylan has improved, to see the new wide receivers that are on this squad, see how Ja'Cory got better in year 2, and the new additions on the offensive line. I mean, there's a lot to be excited about. And defensively, a lot of good pieces back, some additions on the defensive side, a new special teams coach, right? So we're going to have some newness there. So I mean, there's so much to see on Saturday night, and so many things to be excited about going into the season. It's just the best time of year as college football season is approaching, and I'm as excited as I've ever been. And I think the schedule sets up well, and I have high expectations for the team.
You gotta like that wide receiver room.
I do. They're deep. They look a lot different than me, which is a really good thing. And they're big, strong, and fast. And so those are all good combinations. And so, yeah, I'm really pumped about the season. I think it's going to be a good test to start with Cincinnati down there. I mean, that's a real team that, you got to show up and really play well. And it's going to be a great test for us early in the year.
What are some of the things that start to change for a freshman, now sophomore quarterback like Dylan Raiola? As he's had a lot of experience, but now as he goes into it and has experienced this now for a full year.
I mean, I just don't think you can even overstate it. He's seen so many live bullets, and he was so seasoned when he got here. And quarterbacks coming out of high school today are so much more prepared to play than they were 20 years ago. Dylan, with his background, his family, Dominic growing up the way he did, he was ready as a freshman and really, played well as a freshman. We're better around him now. He's going to grow into his sophomore year. The game's going to slow down for him even more, even though I didn't think he ever looked panicked last year. I think this year it's going to slow down even more. And, a full off season with Dana, changing coordinators in the middle of the year had to be difficult. So having this entire offseason, I think, is going to be huge. And so I can't wait to watch him play. Just a magic arm and a great kid.
Yeah, what can you say just about the representative he is of this program of Nebraska Athletics? He's everywhere and, does a lot of things even outside of just being a football player.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, and So much of that has changed with social media and all the attention that these young men and women get on our campus. It's great, and some of them really enjoy it and take it to the next level. Dylan is one of those. I mean, you don't have to look very far around the country to see star student athletes who are not doing those things. But you see Dylan and Emmett at high school games, and you see the way our volleyball team interacts in the community and other athletes in different sports. And Dylan, obviously being the quarterback at this university, is going to be a high-profile position. He handles it magically. I mean, the kid he's mature. He's a great representative for this place. And I think, the way he represents us outside of this building is the way he's going to represent us on the field. He's just a mature kid who gets it, and I think all of those things are going to contribute to him having a lot of success on the field as well. The way he deals with all of what could be a circus around him at times, he doesn't allow that. He handles it well. He was raised right, and so we're lucky to have him.
Great stuff. Hey, just got a couple more for you. You were able to be a part of the Greg Sharp radio booth dedication, and you helped trick him, getting him here and surprising him. But just to see his name up there this season, and I know he meant a lot to you. You guys had a really special relationship. How neat was it to be a part of that, and how special is it that that's forever on top of that radio booth?
Oh, man, you didn't